Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. It's Sunday, I'm going to do another response to Sheffield Sunday. Love some more of you guys could jump in on this tag, show me some of your wonderful Sheffield knife collections. We're going to be taking a look at an exclusive from Twisted Assisted today. Now we have looked at the clip point Barlows which they released quite a while back. I got round 1 which had just had Sheffield on the tang, and then round 2 which James incorporated their logo onto the tang of. But we're going to be taking a look at the Lambsfoot today, and that's one I've not really had a lot of. The Lambsfoot blades, it was never really my favourite. I was always a massive clip point guy. Clip points really is just my preference. But I've got 2 of the clip points out here so I can show you the ones which I did pick up originally. So this is the natural linen micarta with the clip point. You can see the older tang there, just made in Sheffield. And then I also got a round 2 which was the burlap micarta, and that has the Twisted Assisted tang stamp on there with Sheffield underneath. And you can see this thing is, I've been carrying this a lot this week, so there's tape gunk on there. I've used it for pretty much everything, so this is getting patinaed up pretty nice. But as I mentioned, we're looking at the Lambsfoot today, and I wanted to get that in a different handle material or cover material than I did the previous 2. And I picked this one up in the black linen micarta, and I'm glad I did because this is absolutely beautiful. You can see we have nickel silver bolsters that are pinched. We've got brass pins on here as well on the front, beautifully hafted. You can't feel the pins at all. There's a really nice grip from the texture of that linen micarta. You can see the texture on there. The only thing you can really feel is the texture difference from the micarta into the nickel silver bolster. Reverse of the knife, exactly the same story. Transitions are perfect. This has been hafted absolutely beautifully. Corner of the tang's been nicely rolled over so you can't feel anything sharp on there. Pinch bolsters, as I said. And the liners, we have brass liners on this one. You can see there is the most minute of gapping, if the camera will focus, at the top here. Very, very minor, nothing to really complain about, but the rest of the knife is pretty much immaculate. Now the centering is bang down the middle. The termination of the back spring could have been a little bit better. You can see it's a bit wonky here, but it doesn't detract from the knife at all for me. It's still wonderfully made. Brass liners, it's a carbon steel back spring, so you can see that is taking a patina on there as well. You can see I have used this thing, so you can probably just about see the patina on the blade up here. You can see pretty much when I bought this thing, I wanted it to be a user and a work knife. That's always what I've looked at with Sheffield made knife. They're always aimed at the working man. They're sort of a working class knife, really affordable, really wonderful handle materials and hard use knives. And this was no exception, and I'm so glad I picked this one up. We'll take a look at the specs of the knife. So close length, we have a 3.6 inch handle. The width then is pretty much bang on 1/2 inch, with the middle bit bulging out the most. I don't know if you can work that out there, but very ever so slightly bulges out in the middle. See, they've done a wonderful job making both the covers even all the way around. But let's take a look at the blade. So no half stop and a really nice snap. You can listen to the pull on that. So a little bit less of a pull, I would say, than the clip points. The clip points, I'd say, are right about 8 to an 8.5. I'd put this about a 7.5 till you get to about here, and then it gets into about 8 to an 8.5, and that's in a really affirmative snap on the open position. You can see it lines up perfectly there with the spring, no stepping, anything of the sort. It's wonderfully flush all the way along. Nice blade stock on here as well. I'd say we've got like a 2 to 3 mil stock. No swedging, and you can see the patina this thing has picked up already. Twisted Assisted tang stamp on here then, with their little skull with a gas mask, and then Sheffield underneath. Plain on the back of the knife, just with a nice kick there to stop any sort of blade wrap. Blade grind on this is quite high for a Sheffield knife, but honestly, it came screaming sharp to me. All I did was gave it a little strop, and it was good to go. Nice wonderful straight belly on that knife, or not even really belly, straight edge on there. And then you've got the Lambsfoot traditionally, so it would be wider at towards the tang of the knife, and then it gets narrower towards the end. Whereas if you have a sheep's foot, it would be the same length all the way along, and then a ram's foot would be narrower here than it is at the end. So full blade length for that, we are looking at a 2.75 inches on the full blade, maybe just a touch over. And then a cutting edge we have of just shy of 2.5 inches. So a very UK legal knife, and one I would have no issues carrying in the UK. And it's one I've used a lot, as you can see. I've had it maybe a week. I think it arrived on Monday, and I've had it in my pocket I think about 4 days this week, and I've only had to strop it a couple of times, and it's a fantastically comfortable work knife. Slight sway back to the handle. Not really generally a fan of sway backs, but it's so minor. When it fits in your hand and you do like a pinch grab like this, it curves around this sort of swell of your thumb, and it becomes so comfortable in the hand. You could even choke up on it and do draw cuts like this, and it gives you a lot of control over the blade. Could even use this for whittling if you wanted, because you can have a lot of confidence on that spring. It's honestly so hard to push it closed. Really nice action on this. C70 carbon steel blade then, so it's a very traditional Sheffield steel. James at Twisted Assisted wanted to keep it as traditional as possible, but with a modern twist on the handle materials. And this is Micarta sourced from the USA as well. Overall, I love the Sheffield range from Twisted Assisted. I think they've absolutely nailed it with these knives. They have a spear point coming out very soon. Well, when I say soon, it's going to be about the October time, and that's definitely one I'm going to be picking up as well. As you can see, that middle burlap clip point is my favourite user at the moment. All of these have had use. The patina's been cleaned off this. But there's 3 really great handle choices there. Now they are available in, we've got the natural linen micarta at the top, or is that just natural micarta I should say. We've got an OD green burlap or a burlap. We've got a black linen micarta, and there is also an OD green and black micarta two-tone, all of which are fantastic. I will put the link to Twisted Assisted's website where you can pick any of these up, and they are very reasonable. They are currently priced at $49.99, and that's pounds. Works out maybe around $55 to $60. They do ship internationally, but make sure you're checking them out. They are honestly fantastic. But I really hope you enjoyed this review. This is of the Twisted Assisted Arthur Wright & Sons exclusive Lambsfoot and then we have a Barlow, and then the first gen Barlow at the top. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.